Hey guys, what up? I sound like such a tool bag. Anyways, this weekend I'm working on a project. Every weekend I have a project. They never end when you own a house. When you own anything, projects never end. But anyways, this morning I helped out a coworker wire up his hot tub, and now I'm gonna work on the hog. Ever since I got it, it's had issues with the carburators. It's not terrible, you can still ride it, but at full throttle, it bogs. You can feel it just kind of, surging a little, holding back, like it's not giving it all, giving it its all. And I've had issues with the idling. It seems like it'll idle fine if you leave the choke on a little bit, but as soon as you start to wean it off the choke, it just starts to idle rough, and it doesn't like it, especially when it's colder out. When it's warmer out, it'll run fine, and I have the idle adjustment screw turned up, and then, as soon as it starts to get warmer out and the bike gets up to temperature, now, the bike is racing at idle and it chokes off, and, you got to reach down and adjust your screw, and it's just screwy. And sometimes when you give it like a little blip of throttle, instead of just going, woo, it goes, woo. So something's off with the carburetors. I've had them apart once before. I took them off, and last season I had them off during the season. Well, it was at the end of the season, right after I got the bike, and I didn't really do a thorough cleaning. I just kind of cleaned them out a little bit, because basically what happened was it has a foam filter, and the foam completely disintegrated and got sucked right through the engine, which is pretty awesome. But anyways, so I just kind of cleaned out some of the black crud that you could see inside the throat of the carburetor there. I didn't take them apart or anything. And then at the beginning of this season, when I was working on painting the tank and all that stuff, I took the carbs completely apart. I took everything out of them, cleaned everything, cleaned all the little jets, ran a little copper wire through everything. I was like, yeah, it's going to be awesome. And I even washed a ton of black crap out of the idle adjustments, the idle air, whatever. And it's same as it was. Nothing changed. It's just garbage. So anyways, I bought two of these little kits here. They come with a new needle valve and your idle air screw and a couple of gaskets. There's not really much to these. But I figure it's a start. I'll get the needle valve changed and get those adjusted and get the floats adjusted properly, because I didn't adjust the floats. I didn't adjust anything. Basically, all I did was clean them out. Alright, so I was messing with the carburetors on the bike, and I actually had it running pretty good. If you watch the first moto vlog I've ever made, you'll see it was running pretty decent. The issue that I was having was if you just blipped the throttle, it would, like, the idle would go high before it came back down, and it would just kind of race for 30-40 seconds. So rebuilt the carbs, bought a little kit, cleaned everything out, and I mean, by now there's no dirt left in those things. They should be spotless, because I've had them apart 3 times now and cleaned them. So about halfway through the ride, we get to a red light and I stopped and the bike just bleh. So I figured that I had adjusted the screws a little bit too rich, and once she got warm it was running way too rich, and so let the bike cool down a little bit, was able to get it started. So I got home and I go to look to see, I want to readjust the screws and turn them in a little bit. Because I mean, I had to like crank them out. In fact, they say from the factory they should be 2.5 turns out. So you tighten them all the way up and then you turn them back 2.5 turns. I did 4.5 turns, which is, twice what they tell you to, and it still was running way too lean. So I just started cranking on them, and I backed those screws out way far. I got it to run better for a little bit. So anyways, I go to adjust the screws after I got home, and one of them is sitting up here in the transmission, right there between the starter and the transmission. So yeah, well, here, let me film it. I had them up here, it was up here between there. So apparently I had it turned out just a little bit too much. Which kind of sucks because it was brand new. Luckily, it got stuck between there and didn't end up on the street somewhere. What sucks though is I lost the spring and the O-ring, but thankfully the little washer actually stayed on top of there too. And I mean, we went for a pretty decent ride. and they must have fallen out towards the beginning somewhere. So yeah, I'm beginning to think there's something else that's wrong with it. So yeah, I'm gonna tear it apart, take the valve cover off. The valve cover's been leaking since I got the bike, so I ordered a new gasket. So we're gonna do spark plugs. We're gonna check the valves, and hopefully that fixes what ails my bike. If not, it's gonna go on Craigslist. Either way, I think I'm gonna sell it. Get something bigger. Fuel injected. No more carburetors. I've never been good with carburetors. Just don't think I have the patience for it. I'm just not a sit there and tinker kind of guy. I'm like, just go do it, you know?